Morning, Kahal Kadosh. From today until Hanukah, Be'ezat Hashem, we will begin learning the Halachot of Chanukah in depth, Be'ezat Hashem. The Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, Daf Chaf Aleph Amud Bet, on the 21st page, the Gemara says, Tanu Abanan, our sages taught in the Braita, Ner Chanukah, Ner Ishu Beito. The mitzvah of Chanukah is one candle per household. V'hamehadrin, someone who wants to beautify the mitzvah and do it on a higher level, keneged bnei habayit, he should light corresponding to the members of his household. V'hamehadrin min hamehadrin, someone who wants to perform the mitzvah on the highest possible level, to be mehadrin min hamehadrin. So it says the Gemara, Machloket Beit Shammai Beit Hillel. Beit Shammai say you begin with 8, and every day you descend from 7, 6 until the final day you light one candle. And Beit Hillel say you begin with 1 and you end on the 8th day with 8 candles. The Gemara brings 2 reasons to explain the words of Beit Hillel. We all are very familiar with this Gemara, and clearly the Halakha is like Beit Hillel, and that is actually the practice by most homes. But the question is, what does it mean? The mehadrin min mehadrin. Someone who wants to do the highest level, and how do you perform it? So the Rambam learned the Gemara like this. There are 3 stages in the Gemara. The Ikar Adin, the basic halakha, 1 candle. The second halakha is corresponding to the members of the household. So when the Gemara shifted to the 3rd level, the highest level, is that going off of the 2nd stage? Usually that's how the Gemara works. You say the 2nd. So let's say I have 8 people in my home, or let's say 10 people in my home, and now I want to light on the 2nd night of Hanukkah. How many candles should I light? So if I want to be mehader, you light 1 per person, regardless of what night it is. I would light 10 every night of Hanukkah. So when I want to do mehadrin mina mehadrin, does that mean on the 2nd night I should light 20, and on the last night I should light 80? That is how the Rambam learns. The Rambam learns that the mehadrin mina mehadrin is building off of the 2nd stage of the Gemara, and you have to do both, corresponding to the members of your household, plus corresponding to the night of Hanukkah. So that's how the Rambam learns, and there's a machloket how really you should do according to that shita. And that's what Ashkenazim do, seemingly. It's every member in the household lights on the first night 1, on the 2nd night they light 2, etc. They continue on. But Tosfot say that that's not how Ri, one of the Balei Tosfot, learns the Gemara. He says that if the idea of Beit Hillel is to light corresponding to the night of Hanukkah, if you have 20 candles, so there's many different ways that what that means. It could be it's the 5th night and there's 4 people in the house. It could be the 4th night and there's 5 people in the house. It could be the 2nd night and there's 10 people in the house. So it's not so noticeable what night it is of Hanukkah. So says Ri, when the mehadrin min mehadrin came to say you should light corresponding to the night of Hanukkah, it's going off of the first step of the Gemara. Ner Chanukah, Ner Ishu Beito, 1 per household. And on that the Gemara said that if you want to be mehader, you should light 2 on the 2nd night, 3 the 3rd night, regardless of the members of people in your household. And that is the common Sephardi practice. So one halachic question is, what happens if I have 1 person in the house, the father of the home, he's married, he has kids, and he wants to now light. The kids come home with a Hanukkah, and they want to light. So the Sephardi custom is that only Baal Habayit lights. I'm not going to discuss right now if you should allow them to light, especially if your kid comes home with a beautiful Hanukkah. They're going to think that they're going to be very disappointed. You tell them not to light. That's another question for another day. Shalom Bayit. Okay, sometimes the wife wants to light. But can you allow one of the kids to light? What is the problem? The kid is not bar chinuch. Even if he reaches the age of chinuch, he's not bar mitzvot. So can a young adult, let's say a 10-year-old, is he able to light one of the candles? I want to perform the mitzvah on the highest possible level. Only I am going to be lighting. Can I allow my son, who's 10 years old, to light the candles or not? That is the question. So the Ben Ish Chai comes in Parashat Vayeshev, in Halakha, Yudhet and Yutet, and he writes that they should not light the candles. He says, if you want, let him light the shamash. The shamash is not mandatory, and therefore if he wants, he can light the shamash. But don't let him light one of the nerot of the chiyuv. Meaning, although the basic minimum is 1, I've obviously performed the mitzvah, I blessed, and I lit the first candle. Let's say it's the 8th night, I lit 1, I already fulfilled my mitzvah. But I want to do the mitzvah, mehadrin mina mehadrin. That's minhag Yisrael, that's what everybody does. So if my kid comes and does it, the Ben Ish Chai holds that that's not called that you did hidur, because he's not chayav b'mitzvot. But comes Chacham Ovadia and he disagrees strongly. He says, if you look in Shulchan Aruch in Siman Taf Reish Ayin Hey, in Siman 675 Seif Gimel, the Shulchan Aruch brings two opinions. He says that if a woman, a kid, he says Cheresh Shoteh Vekatan, someone who is a Cheresh, he cannot hear or speak, Shoteh, someone who is he's patur from all the mitzvot of the Torah, or a Katan, a young boy, he should not light. But then the Shulchan Aruch says, V'yesh mi she'omer Bekatan shegia lechinuch mutar. So does that contradict the first opinion the Shulchan Aruch brought? The first opinion, he said a katan should not light. He didn't specify what type of katan. In the second halakha, he says katan shegia lemitzvot, he's allowed to. Lechinuch, katan, thank you. Katan shegia lechinuch mutar to light. Does that contradict the first opinion or not? So Rav Yitzhak Tayyib, one of the great Tunisian rabbis from Jerba, he wrote a book, Erech HaShulchan. And also, Rabbi Abdallah Somech, in his book, Zivchai Tzedek, who's the rabbi of the Ben Ish Chai. Here, the Ben Ish Chai doesn't agree with him. He writes that the second opinion doesn't contradict the first one. It's just explaining the first opinion. And therefore, if it's a katan who reached the age of chinuch, he's over the age of 6 or 7, around 6 years old is enough, he is allowed to light the mitzvah with a beracha. So that's the opinion of Shulchan Aruch. Chacham Ovadia writes, we're not going to go that far. But he says at least to allow him to light one of the me'adrin candles, of course, he could do such a thing. And therefore, for the sake of Shalom Bayit and Shalom in your house, you could definitely allow your son to do it. That is the psak of Chacham Ovadia. Chazak u'baruch Rabotai.